Good afternoon. This training session is to go over general navigation within Unifier. So this is what the Unifier homepage looks like. For this training, I'll be in test, but it should be unifier.del.gov. And again, this is what the Unifier webpage looks like. I've had folks, I'm trying to help troubleshoot. They're saying their passwords aren't working, they can't log in. Come to find out they were not on the actual Unifier webpage that we use. Again, it's unifier.del.gov. And again, it looks like this. Before I log in, I wanted to point out the forgot password function right here. Folks, for whatever reason, just refuse to use the forgot password. I'm not entirely sure why. If you can't log into other applications, you typically would hit the forgot password. Unifier allows you up to 4 attempts to put in your password, and then from there it'll end up actually locking you out. Then you have to contact me. I have to go in, reset your password, and typically I ask, well, did you use forgot password? And we have some emails back and forth before I end up doing it. Your username is typically your first initial and your last name. Some are special cases because we've actually have people with the same first and last name. So I have to do a little uniqueness to their username, and then your password. I tell folks 2 attempts. After the second attempt, if you did not successfully log in, hit forgot password. There is no shame in it. I won't know. Nobody else is going to know. Please, if you don't get it by the second time, just hit forgot password. Don't try, well, I only have 4 different passwords. Don't try all 4. Just at the second try, click forgot password. It'll ask you to answer some security questions, and then you can actually reset your very own password. You don't have to even reach out to me to reset it. So I am going to go ahead and log in real quick. Again, I'm in test, so things might look slightly different. And then I really want to point out, and I've been trying to really stress this to folks, Unifier is very permission and access based. If you cannot see something or you cannot access something, it is because you do not have the permission or access needed to do X, Y, and Z. I can't stress that enough to folks. I really want to stress again, it is all permission and access based. You're also going to see some things within my account. Again, this one is test, and 2, I have all power and all access, so I can see everything. Your access to most users is going to be very limited. But here before I even go into the navigation portion, I want to make note, and I've started pointing out in all my trainings, there is a Del.Orange self-help. This will be coming out to folks here very shortly. Here is the extension. All Del.computers are automatically going to have DTI push the extension. Out of network users, those folks will give some instructions on how to download the extension. This application is called WhatFix. So basically, this is going to be another training supplement for folks to use. Currently, we only have the 4 here listed. So it's e-ticketing, IDRs, new project requests, which is the NPR, and support requests, which is how you submit requests within Unifier for support. Once we do a rollout, I will be working with Rose and JMT to create more content for other processes like PS&E, change orders, etc. Anytime I say BP, that is a business process. A business process is, again, e-ticketing, IDRs, PS&E, PNR, NPR. It's just all the different processes within Unifier. So we call them and reference them to business processes. Essentially, this training, you'll go and select new project request. When you click on here, within Unifier, it'll actually start highlighting where you're supposed to go. So then you'll click here, and then it'll highlight the next step, and then the next step, and it walks you through the process. I think it's going to be a really great training supplement for folks so that they can actually physically work within Unifier while the training session's occurring. So I just, again, wanted to point that out. It is not, hasn't been rolled out yet, and we will probably provide training sessions on that, but just wanted to start pointing that out to folks. So here, this button and icon here is the home page. So this is what your home page looks like. You have a My Active Task pie chart. It breaks it out this way as well, and it'll show not started as well as in progress, all your tasks. Here it goes over your workflow business processes. Again, that's a business process. So it'll tell you what the project is and then the different ones that you have going on. Non-workflow are a different type of business process. They're mostly just editing records. So again, you can go under task. This task here is a master task list. So this is task every single project that you have access to. Anytime that it's this dark blue, that means that you've accepted the task, it's in progress. Open means you haven't. We have notifications. This is notifications for all projects. Drafts, a master draft log of all drafts that are in every project. I tell folks, and I will show you later on when clicking save. If you click save on a record and it doesn't appear in your drafts, unfortunately, that means that you didn't actually save it. There's nothing I can do. It's no different than any other application where you don't, your record or your document doesn't save. There's nothing I can do. You have to restart the record. So I just wanted to point that out to folks. There's an inbox and a send items. I won't really touch on any of that. We are going to be sending out I think it's 27 or 29 page general navigation document that actually goes into everything in more detail. But for this training, I'm just going to go through. If I don't use it, I'm not really going to show you guys how to, what it is. So we have a company workspace. Again, I have all power, all access. You guys will not see all this information here, but I wanted to point out that if you click here on Delaware Department, there is a help URL. I sound like a broken record, but I can't stress this enough. There is a link right here in Unifier to the YouTube channel. You can also find the information on the DRC. So I just wanted to pull my screen over here. So here's the Design Resource Center. There's Unifier here, and this has all the PDF training documents as well as the training videos. Again, I'm gonna, with WhatFix over here, we can actually take the training content and put it into PDF and video form. So I am hoping that I can keep the DRC PDF files updated as well as the YouTube channel. So anything that you end up seeing in here will make it to both of those different, in a sense, resource centers. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to change your password. So right here in the upper right hand corner, you'll see your name. When you click on your name, there's a change password option. You can actually also click on preferences. This opens up with your information. You'll click on the security tab. You can put in your current password, new password, and confirm it. And then this is where you set up your security questions. They're required. If you haven't done this, I highly encourage that you folks go ahead and set these questions up so that when you forget your password after 2 attempts, you can set your own. There's an email subscription. Again, that document will go more into here, but you can, some folks send their notifications in a daily digest. You can check all your settings and play around with your email notifications, region, format, and more. I won't really go into detail. Again, that'll be in that packet. When you click on proxy, this is something that gets kind of misused a lot. The intent of a proxy is if I'm going on vacation from this date to this date, I can set some user up as my proxy from this date to this date to be able to log into my account to approve any records to keep stuff moving along. I have folks that, do set the proxy but never remove the person, or people are proxying and for people even though the person's in the office, and that wasn't really the intent. I kind of don't like quite going over this. We used to just actually set the proxy up for the folks, but then we let people know that they could do it, and again, it just gets misused. Again, this is test, you'll see a lot, but you can see who's your proxy, who you are a proxy for, and then you can see anytime that person who's logged in as you and when they log out. So it keeps a really great record. If someone goes in and approves a record as you, you are actually able to see that. So someone, is like, hey, why did this record get approved? It'll say approved by this and who it was proxy for. So that's the proxy. To access proxy, folks don't realize you can click your name. You'll have the proxy for. When you click down, it'll have that person's name. You click on that person's name. Here now it tells you you're proxying for that person. You'll only see the projects that they have access to, and you can go ahead and approve a record or review a record or whatever you have to do under that person. You'll then go ahead and to go back into your account, you'll just click their name, click sign out, and then it signs you right back into your account. Again, you gotta click on their name to go into their account and click sign out to go back into yours. I tell people, if you have someone that's proxying for you, when you get back into the office, make sure you remove that person. So now I'm going to go ahead and show folks how to search a project. This one is a lot of people have questions on. This little plus icon right here is how you search a project. You'll click the little plus. You can either start typing in the T number, typing in the name. Again, I start typing in a T number. It'll pop up all the projects you have access to. You can start typing in the name, does the same thing. You can then even click on this icon right here, and this will open up every project that you have access to. Again, test, I have access to a ton of projects, so I see a lot more than you would, but that's how you kind of search a project. If you're trying to search a project and it does not appear, that is because you do not have access to it. I cannot stress this enough. If you're ever in question, you can reach out to me to find out if the project is within Unifier. Pretty much anything from P6 should all be updated in Unifier. The only time a new project request should be submitted is for, now on projects. So again, if you don't see it, that's because you do not have access to it. So you cannot fill out, if you're a field inspector or field staff, construction staff, you can always reach out to an area engineer and they can provide you access and add you to a project. If you're on the design side, you can always reach out to me. So I'm going to go ahead and open our project. And then for this, I just want to add myself into the group to kind of show folks. All right, so here's the project. Again, here is a task list under a project. There's a draft for and it's all on just this project. It's very project specific. Notifications. There is a directory that shows, the different groups. Anytime I refer to a group, this is what I mean. A group includes area engineers, field inspectors, design reps, right away, estimators. Those are all groups. So you can kind of see who's in, who's in a specific group. Again, this is test, so this is kind of just random. Here we have support. This is where you will submit your Unifier support request. So this is under every project. Again, there will be a create button here. Unfortunately, this is test, so I don't have access to that. But you would click on create and you would fill out the information. I always tell folks to provide as much information within your support request as you possibly can. I get folks that just give me the very bare minimum. And then when I have to reach out to ask them for more detail, they end up either repeating themselves or just incredibly vague. When I say provide detail, if it's an error message, screenshot the entire page so that I can see where you're at, what project you're under. I've gotten people that just send me the little error message and it doesn't benefit me at all. I need to see what your screen looks like, where you're at. You know, if you're struggling to find a document, don't just say, well, I can't find the plans or I can't find this. Provide as much detail. I'm in the document manager under this folder, you know, and I'll show you when we get to the document manager, but just try to provide as much information as you can. These support requests are handled by the Unifier JMT team, Craig Blowers, and myself. So there's, you know, a couple different people that can look into your requests. So again, that's where that is. Then I'm just going to kind of go over just some general, again, depending on your access or your permission, you might not see some of these. But I just kind of wanted to walk through just to show folks what is in Unifier and what we have. Again, if you don't have the permission, you won't see this on your end. But here's a general tab. It's got some information like contacts, project locations, the vendor. If you're a design PM or a project info editor, here's where the project number request is. Here's the project information, codes, estimates, notes, website. So that's under the general. We have a design phase, which, you know, has a support coordination for NEPA and right-of-way. The PS&E process is under here. And then we have a section for contract admin and their project letting process. So that's under design phase. Then we go under the construction phase. Construction, you have field. So here's e-ticketing, IDRs, the project diary, quantity adjustments, the contract administration, notice to proceed, contracts, change orders, pencil estimates, contractor evaluation, price approvals. There's a time charge, which includes first chargeable day and suspension and resumption. And then we have a construction general, which has pretty much the most important parts for people who are non-bid and pay items. So that's under the construction phase. We have the document manager. Under documents, and this is the document manager. Again, if you don't see certain things in here, again, it's all because you don't have the right permission or the access. Again, I cannot stress it. I sound like a broken record, but folks just struggle with not understanding of why I can't see this and this. Well, it's because you don't have the permission or the access for it. On the construction side of the world, area engineers, they add the users, they, you know, put you into groups. So if it's any question on that, you should be reaching out to your engineer. And again, for the design side of things, you can reach out to me. So I just kind of wanted to show, like, when you're talking about something you can't access, or you're, the one I got the other day was like, I can't find this file. When I say provide detail, I'm under the document manager, under documents, under project documents, 0500 support coordination, and environmental. The more detail you provide, the easier it is for me to help you. Help me help you. I can't, you know, Craig Blowers, the Unifier JMT team, when you don't provide enough information, we have to send it for clarification. We have to email back and forth. Don't be afraid to write a paragraph. I'd rather you write a paragraph than a few words. And, you know, when I'm asking you for clarification, that is your time, like, hey, I need you to provide me more information. Again, I have folks that they're just, I don't know, it's almost like they're scared to give me information. I want to help you, but I can't help you if you don't give me anything to go off of. When you're in the documents, under Document Manager, this icon here is to upload a document, and this item, or this little icon here, is to download a document. So I just kind of wanted to point those out. Nothing, you don't really need anything here. Again, anytime you can't see something, it's permission and access based. And then we will be providing, again, a general navigation. It's like 27 or 29 pages that kind of goes over everything else in more detail. For just so folks can see, you can view a workflow within Unifier on a record. For example, if you're doing a project number request, you can always go in and check the workflow progress here. And this will tell you where it's at, like this has been submitted, this has been approved. If someone hasn't accepted a task, it'll say not started. If they have accepted, it'll say it's in progress. That way you kind of know where the workflow is at. You can also actually click on View Graphic, and this will show you where your record is at within a workflow. So for example, this makes it a more bolded box, and this shows it's at the end. But if it was in this review step, it would highlight and make this box a little bolder. So you can always see a visual of where it is. Some folks like to see that. A lot of people don't know it's there, but it's a view graphic right there. Some information like this record here, if I can open it. I have folks that will say, hey, I can't edit this record. I don't have permission. I just want to point out that some records, like if you do project codes and estimates, there is an edit button right up in the upper right hand corner. That is how you click edit, and that'll be how you edit this information. While we're in here, I wanted to point out the submit and save option here. So save in this kind of record does not save an item to your drafts. This will actually, just as an example, this will actually, when I click save, it saves the changes. So now that has been changed. However, it leaves the record in what we call edit mode. So when it's in edit mode, you'll still see the submit and save. I tell folks that if you are completely 100% done with your changes, click on submit. When you click on submit, the changes are there and it takes the record out of edit mode. A lot of folks get confused. I just tell people, if you make the change, click submit. You're submitting your record, and that takes it again out of edit mode. Guess I could also show here. Under records, you can do attachments. So you are able to attach documents to a record. You can browse or pull from a document manager. You're able to add a comment to a record if you need to have a conversation, like for example, the PS&E, Robert Kovacs and the PM typically will use the comment section to kind of, hey, you're missing this, or hey, this is good. The comment section is good. If you're ever making a change to something like the project estimates, if you ever make a change in here, I always tell folks to make a comment of, if you added to the plan cost, to make a comment that, I added this amount to this amount. Always kind of, it's just a great way to keep record of things. There's a linked records, audit log. Audit log lets you know like some more information. So that's kind of there. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it for general navigation. I will point out this, I don't want to confuse people. If you're not like an area engineer, you never have to click on this little gear icon, but there is a difference. It's called admin and user mode. Sometimes folks cannot see something, and it's because they've accidentally clicked the gear icon and they've gone into admin mode. Things look slightly different in here. Just, hover over, make sure if it says switch to user, make sure you switch, that you are always in user mode. The only folks that ever come into this side are typically your area engineers for the items that they have to do. So you really shouldn't play with that, but I just wanted to point that out to folks. Again, there is going to be a packet coming out that goes into so much more detail of kind of what we've talked about today, as well as some things that, I didn't really hit on, but I tried to hit what most users use or the most asked questions. So again, if you ever have any questions, if it's project related, you can submit a support request or you can reach out to me. Thank you so much. Have a good day.